Hi everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Mental health is key. Spiritual wealth is key. And yeah, all of them great things. But wanted to discuss an idea with you all about self-governing, the concept of self-governing, and why there are perceptions of not actually needing a government or a system to tell everyone what to do and things like that. And I think it's taken out of context, and I think it's only taken out of context by people who do not have good intentions. Because if it's a system that is positive, that's not trying to enslave their people or own their people, then you're a system that just pretty much does the organizing and putting everything in perspective together like a business. Like, it works for you, like we are the people that go and give them what we want them to organize. Get all the percentages together, and that's pretty much it. Like, all the ideas and things on how to, do certain things like schools and into prosecution, like, people that might just want to be an invader, and harm people. Not, anything petty like a seatbelt ticket. Trying to keep down a noise in a neighborhood. There wouldn't be no need for that if we wasn't in areas dependent on, our living areas dependent on what you can afford, off of economic resources. It wouldn't be like that. So it's like the government not working for us is the reason why we feel like we do not need a system or a government. I feel like we should put it in a different light by just wording it different and specifying all the things I just said, so people can actually understand what that means, because a lot of times when people say that, they're just thinking on getting away from the toxic government and not thinking about what's going to happen the next day or later on down the line, off of just being tired, sick and tired, and then get mad at people that actually think about those things and, might cleave to the government because they don't really know that there is any other choice, because everybody seems like they don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about, So people just want certainty. They want to know, like, they want to see, they want to see that it will work. A lot of people don't go by faith. So I just feel like once you go by faith, then that's a component, an ingredient to having knowing thyself and having awareness and being able to self-govern yourself, because you have empathy, right from wrong, you are reasonable, have integrity, things like that. It all comes with who we are, our ingredients, and what make us us. That is determining if we're able to self-govern. If you have a people I don't care if it's a tribe, a city, a town, what. You have a people that can self-govern themselves. There will be really no crime rates. Percentage-wise, it'll be less than what's happening now. The only reason why we have all those crime rates now is because we were designed, our ingredients being raised by the government. I always talk about that. That's making us more hostile towards ourselves and each other. So they pretty much stand back and say, look at all the mess. What are you going to do? How are you going to protect your children? How are you going to protect yourself? Do you have a husband to protect you? You know, they have us thinking all those things, and they pretty much keep us in that mindset and fear, you know, for that purpose through things that we partake in, you know, our ingredients, the things we consume and put into ourselves. So it's like a lot of people aren't really, I wouldn't say able to self-govern. I just say that it will be pretty much separating from the people that have, you know, figured out how to change what they consume and the things they partake in and recreate it themselves, which religious people say become a new man in Christ or a new woman in Christ, you know, or the government, they have a place for them. You know, some people might not even want to do either. You know, there are people that's like, no, I don't trust any of them options. I'd rather figure it out myself, you know. So that's one thing. And then it's like self-governing is like not being able to partake in what the government has going on. So that means we have to have resources, you know. So it is a lot of work. So I understand that. But it's very much possible, you know, and with it being possible and knowing that it's a possibility, it's our choice to actually make that decision. And there are plenty of teachers that you can learn from, you know, and just being aware that you are in control of what you take from that person, from what they said, and what you don't. You have to have discernment. You know, it's like a lot of work that's put into being able to have a self-governed world, country, town, city, whatever, you know. And it's everyone that makes up that town, city, state, whatever, of ungoverned, sovereign folk, people, beings, you know, they have to have, you know, all of those components that will make it run smoothly, you know. So that's why a lot of times we are called chosen ones, because it's the fact that we understand the assignment. You know, we understand exactly what's happening, what's going on. And there are people, believe it or not, there are people that may still be asleep, that actually may be catching in what people would say late, but it's not really late. They're that saying better late than never, you know. Maybe for them it was the right time, you know, but it's still time. Time is an illusion. So anybody that is meant to be able to evolve, transform, whatever terminology you want to use, it will happen. But until then, we have to use our discernment if we're still trying to figure it out. Because a lot of times we'll be tricked, you know, and if we're not having reminders, you know, because a lot of times it's so easy to what they call get rocked back to sleep in the conscious community. It's so easy. So that's why I always say also in my videos, it's good to have a reminder. I suggest that you do not turn a blind ear to something that you feel like you done heard before. Oh, this is the same thing, just worded different. It doesn't matter. The details, because no two things are ever the same. And it comes from discipline. You have to have discipline to be able to have that type of concentration, you know. That's why sometimes whenever people are in a debate or a conversation, you know, sometimes it's like people cannot, understand where the other person is coming from, because it's like we're on two different frequencies, you know, and the other person might be inhabiting a demon or demons, or might be a demon, whatever terminology, perspective you want to throw in there. It won't let them listen to that high frequency message. You know, you can tell by the details, by discernment and awareness, what's going on with a person. You just have to always be awake to be able to use those tools. You get right back to sleep, anything can happen within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, and you have to be patient with yourself, because it will happen. It will happen. It's normal. But the process is, and the target is to not have too many of those moments. If you have them, make them short, you know, and to not have any at all if you can. You know, it's like, it's a battle. It's a process. It's a well-earned process, though. And I just feel like, you know, none of us are able to speak on, you know, what the next person is doing. You can't tell nobody what to do or how to do it. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone. I just want to be real. You know, it's a process, and it's the details, it's the little things that makes big impacts. And I'm just being real. Pretty much. You know, I just feel like we are very sensitive to not having or being where we feel like we should be, because the training and things that we go through on a regular basis, like with work and how we have to pay bills and stuff, people just see, oh, we're supposed to support ourselves. We're supposed to work for this and that, you know. Yeah, that's true. It is true. But it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know, it's the fact that these people have us working without giving anything back. Like we put so much into the system, and they give us a little bit of things back. You know, I'm all like hip to the whole, you know, cryptocurrency and learning how to, you know, manage your money and things like that. But it's just the fact that we have to have that awareness. And to have that awareness, you know, we have to break out of spells. We have to work on ourselves. We have to have, you know, mental health. And it's like, for me, I can actually give sympathy when it's due. I have discernment with that, because I've experienced the same thing. Sympathy comes from whenever you understand what the next person is going through. And even if you do not, it's just the fact of, if you have a great imagination, because, people be like, I can imagine what you're going through. If you have an imagination, if someone just tell you they sad, you don't need to feel how deep it is. You just need to be like, wow, I understand this person just told me they feel sad. Whether or not you want to give a fuck, depending on, that's discernment. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's like the government laws and the universal laws, they say as above, so below. It's like, me personally, I feel like it's some truth to that. But then I can also see how the government copies the universe, but it's in a different way because it's flesh, So it's like a God in flesh, and you have the soul, that the actual energy that's connected to the divine. So it's like crazy how they depict the God in the 3D to be a white man, and then the KKK was wearing white hoodies, and one of them, only one now, was red, a red hoodie. Now, I don't know a whole lot. As of right now, I can't, say I do about this colorism thing with like white, orange, yellow, red being the colors of the sun, and like the blue, white, and what are the colors? Something of the night colors, gray, things like that. And it's like, for me, it's like, I see how they actually want to copy the creator because they made themselves God, From there, that's where it came from, religion. They were the same people, KKK, the patty rollers that they call them. That's not the police, It's just a whole imitation in a way. I say in a way because not all of it they imitate. Some of it is actually just really them being them, because we all know right from wrong, and we know we identify. I'm not talking about specifics, because a lot of people like to say, oh, there's no good and evil, no good and bad. We identify, pain, hurt with evil, love, pleasure, joy, love with light, and good, So it's like, most people want to be loved, even the wicked want to be loved. They have loved ones, they have kids, sisters, mothers, somebody that they love. And if they don't have anybody that they love, then I don't know exactly what to say about that. But usually there's somebody that they love, even if it's twisted, I would think, and it's like they want to be treated with kindness, even if it's just so they could get over on you. They want you to be a sucker so they can. It's like it's the same thing, but it's in a different, it comes from a different place, different feeling. It's like something like wanting your needs met, but you feel like you're starving and you need food, and things like that. It's like an infant in a way. Like, something like that. It's like, that's a perspective, you know? And I just feel like it's just all about concepts and perspectives that make you be able to see the way that it's all connected together, you know, as above, so below. It's just wild. Like, they say you have to work, you don't work, you don't eat, you know, but nature says whatever you reap, you sow, you know. Whatever you put into the ground, you put a seed into the ground, you're going to get fruit, vegetable, depending on, you know, if you got a green thumb. It didn't say that in there, but that's the truth, though, you know. And it's just crazy how we don't really look at, you know, how they see us. And so, because it's hard to process. So it make it hard for us to actually make a decision on what we want to do. And because we're indecisive, it's like we want them to change what they got going on, and we fight for them to make it right for us, when it's really us that have to make it right for ourselves. A lot of people can't really fathom how them changing themselves can change the 3D situation. They don't believe in magic. They don't believe in vibrations and all them things. You know? It is like crazy that you don't try. You know, at this point with what's going on, you should be like, dang, I try anything once. But not anything. I'm just saying, that's just a little laughter. They'll take that and run with it. But yeah, it's like, you would think, you know, people would be wanting to at least like change the bad patterns that they have, and, you know, find some type of healing within themselves. Like, I've seen people that actually can't stay in a room by themselves, like stay home. Like, they have to be around people. Like, have to. They can't be by themselves. And it's like, I was that type of person as well. But I feel like I could have been by myself. It was just people wanted me around. But there are people who actually tolerate people because they feel obligated, because, you know, they can, and spiritually, you know. So it's like they have this principle where it's like, you know, they tolerate people that they might not even like really like, you know, and that person will know that, you know, they're just being tolerated, but they still go around people, you know. They can't really help it because they feel like they can't be by themselves. But the thing about it is, you have to make yourself do it. You have to fight yourself to do it. And that's, you know, difficult to some people, but it's possible. You know, it's very possible. And when we learn how to do that, it's like bringing a whole new perspective into play. It helps out a lot. I just said a lot. I'm just rambling. Yeah. So I'm going to say for the night, tired. I hope you all are drinking your water, earthing, saying your affirmations, meditating, staying balanced, and loving yourself. Peace and love.